Greetings, groaners! 2025 has barely started, so a lot of segments in this episode will be items from last year moving into this one. We're only 3 days into 2025, so give us a GZHQ a chance during episode 115. This episode is dedicated also to the special day known as Epiphany, which is celebrated in the following countries: Spain and Latin America, the Czech Republic, Mexico, Switzerland, Greece, Bulgaria, Romania, France, the USA, and Ethiopia. The date varies, but for the most part it is celebrated on 6th of January and the 19th of January in other places. All countries who observe it celebrate it differently, and admin Nicole has sent us a few facts to look at later. I'll take us bravely first groan forward in 2025. Short note before the groans: we will be on audio-only YouTube as well, ideally before the end of the month, so YouTube is coming. I know we've talked about this in the past for ages, but we're going to make moves on this one. Without further ado, here we go with my groans. Celebrities who don't take account of their actions. This could be being rude, down-talking to people, or being snobbish, forgetting without their fans they would be absolutely nothing. They also, I'd say mostly in women's cases, not being sexist here, that they wear items of clothing which leave very little to the imagination, or you need to be stick thin to get into the clothing. So girls or women starve themselves or wear these items of clothing and think they look great, but they really don't. I get it, celebs, you want to show off your wealth, etc., but think how that impacts on the lives of your fans. Have some common sense for 2025, please. Auto-tune and lip-syncing. Here's another bugbear of mine. So you say you can sing and perform on stage. So why is it that a lot of singers use auto-tune and or lip-syncing? If you actually have the natural raw talent, you don't need either. This just makes you look stupid. I remember when Victoria Beckham, that's Victoria Beckham of the Spice Girls, and I use the term loosely, sang on stage with Dane Bowers, formerly of the band Another Level, and she lip-synced along to her part of the song, including the digital parts. Have a word with yourself, celebs who do this, or move over for those who actually can sing, and album and studio workers, would you please stop encouraging the use of auto-tune. Your stars shouldn't need it. Having sensitive skin. I realise from celebrities to my skin is a bit of a stretch, but I host the show, so I make the rules. Aha! I use an electric shaver and it gets me a lovely smooth face where I need it. Unfortunately, this meant recently I was out of practice with a razor because I left my electric shaver at home. My skin being soft, the razor proceeded to nick me repeatedly. I looked like the leprechaun from the Lucky Charms cereals had been after me with a knife. I had foam on and everything, but my face, being my face, had a fight with the blade. Having sensitive skin is a right pain in the Johnson. That's over and out to my groans for the first time of 2025. Don't worry, groaners, your groan has been selected for later in the show. Games. Games. Here comes one now. It's time for Yes or BS. Other groaners listening live, are you ready? Clearly you are. Groaner at home, wherever you are in the world, you're listening, so you're going to play along too. Round 1. The best foot forward round. A. The human foot has 6,000 nerve endings. B. Bacteria from foot sweat can be used to make cheese. And C. The calcaneus is the biggest bone in your foot. Go Groaners Live, answers please. Those at home, you know what to do. We have a ton of bees flying in. Oh, to go along with that, we have A's flying in as well. So A's and B's have came along. Any C's, anybody? Nope, no C's there. Right then. Moving on. Round number 2. The Shadowcaster round. A. Glass casts a shadow. B. Sometimes football players can have 4 shadows at once. Or C. Shadows are longest in the evening when the sun's angle causes them to elongate. Groaners live, same as before. Groan at home, you know what to do. We have A's flying in there. Any more? Any more groaners? People are typing. More A's are coming in. More A's are coming in from Groaners live. Any more groaners? Nope. Okay. Last round. Round 3. The Do You Know Your Keys round? A. Piano keys are made from plastic. B. The Dacarac layout of keyboard keys from 1936 was said to reduce RSI in typists. Or C. 1874 saw the QWERTY keyboard layout created by William Query. Groaners live, answers please. Those at home, you know what to do. C's are flying in there. Any more groaners? Nope, I think groaners have been stumped again. Groaners live, you got any more? I'm only going to give a short while groaners live. And that's it for the groaners live. Groan at home, if you put me on pause, you got a little bit more time. But unfortunately, we now must move on. No answers are given though until the end of the show. Oh, someone's just put in a last minute C. Okay, Groaner, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Let's now learn a little something from Admin Nicole with her Epiphany facts. Fact number 1. Greece and Bulgaria celebrate by having priests bless crosses and then throw them into cold water. Then young men have to dive in to retrieve them. Interesting. More facts about Epiphany to come later. But Admin Nicole has the floor again with another bout of Creepy Corner. Your story for episode 115 is called Dark Day, Darker Fate. That would be a day that would haunt them forever. As Valencia and Viola stood at the gate to Graves Park, they couldn't help but look back at the space where they once stood. That one patch of barren land right where grass was trying ever so hard to break through. That one tiny patch of grass that is now just drenched in blood. A fight they never expected to have. A realization they never wanted, and a warning that would change fate itself. Marianne was gone, off to find Coco and help Ivy learn fast as possible. The Reaper had his work to finish before tracking down Death. Viola was almost completely covered in those vines. Time was ever so short now, but they couldn't help but stare at the one spot where it all went down. Where even the darkness had lost its resolve and given up. They may be wiser now than before, but they are far from better. Valencia couldn't even look Viola in the eyes, even after hers grew back. She was filled with so much emotion, she didn't know what she could say to make things better. They lost a fight, which makes them no closer to winning the war. Lionel was far too happy to win. It gives them the advantage after all. How could a primal even twist their gift into something so sinister, so evil? Why would they even want to? They have more knowledge than before. That has to come for something, but what? The primal of life could have killed Marianne without even being anywhere near her, but he didn't because they surrendered. The enjoyment of pain and suffering made them leave for now. But what about that warning? Dr. Quack gave them a leaf, and with an eerie smile, they just left with the primals of light and life. Valencia still kept that leaf in her pocket as a reminder to what they must do. A simple leaf, yet filled with so many things. For this one in particular was an ivy leaf. A warning to them to stop trying to change things, or Ivy will never be the same. Dr. Quack already experimented on her once. He branded her, but she's just a child. What use could she even be to them? Her perfect memory, her connection to others like her. What use was she to them? Viola took hold of Valencia's hand and promised her everything would be alright. She didn't know how, she didn't know when, but right now all they could do was free the other tooth fairies. Maybe little by little showing the world its truth would be enough. It was all they could hope for right now. So they opened up the doors and stepped on through. Graves Park was filled with souls, but they seemed uninterested in them. The gates disappeared from behind them, and they were stuck there. The only thing they didn't realise was that, as everyone was off trying to get things done, they were sat at those gates for days, staring at the impossible, trying to process what had truly happened. They didn't realise, and didn't mean to, but as Valencia slowly processed what happened on that day, they had lost time that was ever so precious to them. Now, as they are surrounded by the Endless, they begin to realise that tonight is the Ghost Parade, which means the veils are thin. Anything can happen to them right now, and laws of the living and the dead do not apply on this one night. They could not be in more danger right now. Thankfully, Graves Park operated as a sort of ring. The most innocent on the outer rings, and the worst of the worst. Right at the centre of this park. They were safe for now. As they walked along the dim-lit path, they saw all kinds of spirits, almost as if they were still alive, just going about their business. A happy family of sorts could be spotted all working together, harvesting fruits before going back inside, as the house became a blaze of fire, burning it to the ground with them all trapped inside. Then it all just resets. They know nothing of what happens to them. This endless loop for eternity. The Reaper had mentioned that the souls trapped in here were the worst. The ones who couldn't be saved, or didn't want to be saved. The souls even death itself couldn't help. Yet that was for a variety of reasons, and the more the two sisters watched this loop, the more they realised why this poor family couldn't be helped. In the brief seconds from the last member of the family going to the house, and now it's been set ablaze, there in the attic window, a dark shadow reveals itself with a wry smile. It is an ever so brief second, but it made Valencia realise something awful. The outer ring of Graves Park. It was for the innocent souls who did no wrong, but can't ever be free. An evil that latches on to a family not only in life, but also in death. To leave the family to suffer for an eternity where they can't harm anyone else. Death traps them, but puts them on a loop, so at the very least, they get to have some happiness before it keeps being taken away from them. An unfortunate state of being, a terrible way to go. Valencia went to take a step off the path, but Viola pulled her back. The path was safe, at least in the outer rings. Stepping off the path could trap them in the same horrid fate as the ones who suffer. The outer circle of Graves Park, for the innocent souls who couldn't be saved. Somewhere to keep them away from others until they find a way to separate them from what is forever destroying them. Seems our two heroines are not out of the woods just yet. Admin Nicole will bring us more next week. So this may be a bit of repetition, but I honestly don't know if we've covered this in the show before. Let's get into it with What The. You ever been unemployed, groaners? I have. Or it's been noticed that maybe you give good hugs? I'd say I do. Well, you could get a job as a professional cuddler. A woman out there charges £75 an hour for cuddle therapy. Not only do I find this steep, but it also sounds strange, almost like a form of softcore prostitution. It is also creepy. I don't want or need cuddle therapy. I do not want a strange woman wrapping her arms around me as she lifts 75 notes out of my pocket. Definitely a what the for the ages. Ooh, I smell another Epiphany fact number 2 heading our way. Romania is one of many countries that celebrates Epiphany, as we mentioned earlier. Girls put basil under their pillows to dream of their future husbands, and the boys swim in a race to grab a cross thrown by a priest into the water. I've got to say though, basil? Why basil? The world is an odd place. Last fact will meet us near the end of the show. On with another game. This time it's the 5-point countdown. Groaners live. Obviously you're still here. You're ready. Groaners at home. If you're still listening, you must be ready. Here we go. 5 clues. 5 points. Which lesson every time. If you don't get to clue number 5, you must move on to clue number 4 with no backpedaling. And all clues are related to the same answer. Clue 5 for 5 points. And can be used to keep a part of your body warm. Clue 5 for 5 points. I can be used to keep a part of your body warm. Thinking hard, aren't you, Groaners Live? You're thinking really, really hard. They're not saying anything, but they are thinking. Going at home, what are you thinking? Someone's just put in hot water bottle. That's a really good guess. Really good guess. Clue 4 for 4 points. I can be made of many environmentally friendly products. Someone's wrote gloves. Someone's put a hat. Okay. Moving on. Clue 3 for 3 points. You get me plain or in many patterns. A clue again. Clue 3 for 3 points. You get me plain or in many patterns. And as I was saying that, someone's just typed in the word tie. I don't think a tie keeps any part of your body warm, groaner, but that's by the by, and that's not meant to rhyme. No more. Clue 2 for 2 points. I come in many sizes and usually in twos. I've got the groaners, they're thinking really hard. They're really, really thinking hard. Someone's wrote a jacket. Think of the clue I've just give you, groaner. Jackets don't come in twos. Well, I suppose they do with the ones you get with the inner lining, so you could count that, I suppose. Moving on. Clue 1 for 1 point. You always seem to lose one of me. Clue 1 for 1 point. You always seem to lose one of me. Someone's wrote in socks. Okay, fair enough. Someone's again wrote gloves. Okay. If you use all the gloves, that can be expensive. No more there. Okay. That's it for the 5-point countdown. You need luck to get the game points, but this hints at the next section, which is, unlucky. This one is a belter, and proof that spoilsport fools can be so darn stupid. Some complete niblick in Kentucky, USA thought it'd be a good idea to spoil people's fun by running over their snowman. The snowman had the last laugh though, as he was built on top of a tree stump. Unlucky driver. Snowman 1, truck 0. Now, I did promise that an audience groan was coming later, and here it is from Wzenzlaz of Poland. All they wrote in their email was politics and politicians. Kind of makes this section a bit tough, but it does seem a lot of people in the political world are out of touch, and that's all I'm going to say about that. Thanks for the groan. As well as your groans, we need your what-thers, your why or whys, your lucky or unlucky stories, your ideas, and your feedback, which are also welcome. How do you send them in? You can fire off an email to thegroanzonepod@gmail.com. You can link up to us on Discord, where we record on the Groan Zone channel every Friday at 8:30 PM Greenwich Mean Time, usually. You can hit us up on Facebook groups, that's the Groan Zone Podcast. You can locate myself, that's Mr. E. Groaner, or Admin Nicole and Admin Nicole Amos. No, sorry, it's not Admin Nicole Amos, it's Nicole Amos. Sorry, my mistake. I wouldn't been doing this for many years. Sorry about that. I'm going to leave this in. That's on Facebook Messenger, by the way, groaners. Or you can leave a comment on any episode and it'll be reviewed. All groans have now been chewed up by the Groan Zone, so now we must name our hero of the week. This is just beautiful. There was a dog in Leeds who was named as Britain's most unwanted dog after spending over 1,700 days in the care of Leeds Dog Trust. It took so long and a lot of effort, but Jake the Lurcher won over the hearts of Keith and Veronica. They fell in love with Jake and took him home. That meant that Christmas just gone was Jake's first Christmas in a loving home where he was actually wanted. Bless you, Jake, and to all involved in so much effort for you, you really are total heroes. With the end of the show looming, we have our last fact from Admin Nicole, with fact number 3 all about the Epiphany. Mexico celebrates Epiphany by eating rosca de reyes, a sweet bread ring with a baby figurine hidden inside. That's the last of the facts wrapped up for its special occasion. If you're listening and you do celebrate Epiphany, I hope you enjoy the festivities. For the final game of the show, we have Admin Nicole returning yet again with her anagram, which is, of course, anagram anxiety. Your anagram: Crissie relieved Vikky. Nice way of putting it there, Nicole. Very, very good. Very good. Your clue: Studio Ghibli 40th anniversary this year. I've no idea what that means, so I think that rules me out of anagram anxiety this time. The answer will come next week. With that being the last game for the episode, we now must give the game answers. We'll do the 5-point countdown first. Your answer was, of course, socks, which someone typed up there. Well done to you. But where did you get points, Groaner? Did you get 5? If you got 5, well done. If you only got 1, again, well done. Moving on. Yes or BS. Round 1. The best foot forward round. If you went for option A, the human foot has 6,000 nerve endings, that's false. It has actually over 7,000, hence your feet are so ticklish. If you went for option B, bacteria from foot sweat can be used to make cheese, disgustingly, that is true. Ugh. If you went for C, the calcaneus is the biggest bone in your foot, this is true. It's another name for your heel bone. Round 2, the shadow caster round. If you went for A, glass casts a shadow, this is entirely false, because light passes through glass. If you went for B, sometimes football players can have 4 shadows at once, it's true, but only when floodlights are used at night games. And if you went for C, shadows are longest in the evening when the sun's angle causes them to elongate, that's false. It's actually in the early morning. Round 3, the Do You Know Your Keys round? A. Piano keys are made from plastic. This is true, groaners, and this was done to protect elephants, as piano keys used to be made from ivory. If you went for B, the Dakarak layout of keyboard keys from 1936 was said to reduce RSI in typists. That's actually false. The name was the Dvorak layout. Same thing, but I changed the name. If you went for C, 1874 saw the QWERTY keyboard layout created by William Query come into effect. That's false as well. This layout was created by Christopher Latham Scholes. If you scored points at any point there, groaners, well played. And this brings the Groan Zone to another end for another episode. We hope you enjoyed, groaners. We'll see you later. Take care. Bye-bye. Dr. Quack gave them a leaf. Dr. Quack gave them a leaf, and with an eerie smile, they just left with the primals of light. I'm going to have to read that bit again. Dr. Leaf